There's this single powerful mandate that's echoing through just about every boardroom right now. Adopt AI, boost efficiency, cut costs. And, on the surface, it seems like the most logical business decision of the decade. But what if that logic what if it's flawed? What if this relentless race for short-term gains is actually creating a catastrophic blind spot? Today, we're digging into that blind spot. We're talking about the hidden long-term price of AI-driven efficiency, and we're going to arm you with the data you need to push back intelligently.
And it all kicks off with this one number, 42%. Now, what is that? Well, that's the amount of a company's critical, absolutely essential knowledge that doesn't live in any database. It's not written down anywhere. It's the institutional memory. It's the clever workarounds your team has figured out. It's the gut instincts of your very best people. Think of it as the invisible asset that makes the whole company actually work. And when the board's big mandate is to just replace people with algorithms, this is the very first thing that walks right out the door.
So before we can even think about challenging this mandate, we've really got to understand the sheer force that's behind it. This isn't just some whim. It's a direct response to one of the biggest economic shifts in modern history. The financial story driving this AI push is incredibly powerful, and it all starts with a number that's almost too big to even wrap your head around.
And here it is, $15.7 trillion. That is the projected value that AI is expected to add to the global economy by 2030. Now, when a board of directors sees a number that massive, the conversation immediately stops being if they should act, and it becomes all about how fast they can act. That fear of missing out, it becomes the single biggest driver of their entire strategy.
And this slide right here, this is what seals the deal in the boardroom. The math looks so deceptively simple, right? You've got these clear, easily calculable labor savings on one side, and you've got the implementation costs on the other. But the number that grabs all the attention is sitting right there at the bottom, a payback period of just 12 to 24 months. I mean, for a board that has to answer to shareholders, an investment that pays for itself that quickly is, let's be honest, it's a complete no-brainer.
But that simple equation is dangerously incomplete. Those quick wins, they come with a hidden, long-term price tag that never shows up on that initial balance sheet. This is where we start to see the real timeline of consequences. What actually happens to an organization long after that 2-year payback period is a distant memory?
And this slide just perfectly illustrates that disconnect. I mean, look at the first 12 months. Everything looks amazing. Costs are down, margins are up, the stock gets a nice little bump, everyone's happy. But then you follow that timeline out to years 1 to 3, and the other shoe starts to drop. The lagging indicators show up, skill gaps get wider, employee engagement absolutely plummets. And then push it out past year 3, and the deep structural damage becomes obvious. The innovation pipeline just dries up, and the very culture of the company starts to erode.
But the most significant damage isn't even happening on the balance sheet. No, it's happening to what we call the invisible organization. That critical network of trust, of shared knowledge, and culture that makes a company truly innovative. And, while it might be invisible, the damage can absolutely be quantified. Just look at this chart. After a major AI-driven layoff, engagement among the employees who are still there drops by a staggering 60 to 70%. This is not just about morale, okay? This is a direct hit to productivity. Disengaged employees don't innovate. They don't volunteer new ideas, and they certainly don't go the extra mile. They just survive.
And this drop in engagement, it's not random. It's part of a predictable, step-by-step sequence we call the trust erosion cascade. It starts with what's known as survivor syndrome, a nasty mix of guilt and anxiety. That, in turn, leads to a workforce that's terrified to take risks, so any new initiative just dries up. And finally, loyalty completely evaporates as your remaining talent starts quietly updating their resumes. The entire foundation of trust just crumbles, one piece at a time.
All of this leads to the destruction of what is arguably the single most critical asset in any modern company, psychological safety. It's that shared belief that you can speak up, that you can ask a dumb question, or even admit you made a mistake without fear of being punished or humiliated. And when that foundation is gone, all you're left with is a culture of silence and fear.
And the impact is absolutely devastating. Companies with low psychological safety see 42% fewer innovations. I mean, why would you suggest an idea that might make your own job redundant? They see a 58% drop in people reporting errors. Why would you admit a mistake in a culture of blame? And maybe most frightening of all, misconduct reporting plummets by 65%. You're not just losing good ideas, you are creating massive, dangerous, operational, and reputational blind spots. You see, this erosion of trust isn't the end of the story, it's the trigger.
It's the beginning of a chain reaction that unleashes a cascade of hidden risks that directly threaten the three pillars of any future growth: your knowledge, your talent, and your ability to innovate.
Hey, remember that 42% of knowledge we started with? Well, this slide breaks down exactly what that is. We're talking about operational knowledge, all those undocumented workarounds that keep things moving smoothly. We're talking about tribal knowledge, the expertise that's shared informally between teammates over coffee. And we're talking about institutional memory, the critical context of past mistakes and past successes. This is the stuff that prevents you from reinventing the wheel over and over, and an AI can't learn it from a training manual.
And then there's this phenomenon, the ambition exodus. The data is crystal clear. Your most ambitious, high-potential employees, your future leaders, they are 2.5 times more likely to leave after an AI-driven layoff. Why? Because they see a culture of replacement, not development, and they go find somewhere that will invest in them. You're not just losing staff, you're losing your future.
So, looking at all this evidence, the situation can feel pretty bleak, but it's not. This is where we pivot. We're moving from just identifying the problems to providing an actionable solution. This is the management playbook for reframing the conversation with the board and for pushing back effectively.
So the key question for any executive or manager watching this is, how do you move beyond just anecdotes and gut feelings? How can you push back with a compelling, data-driven argument that actually speaks the board's language? Look, it's not about stopping AI. It's about implementing it intelligently. The first and most critical step is to reframe the entire debate. It is not about replace, it is about augment. Look at this. Let the machine handle what it does best: pattern recognition, speed, consistency, raw processing power. But you save your human talent for the things that AI simply cannot do: deep contextual understanding, ethical judgment, and real, genuine creativity. The goal isn't replacement, it's a powerful hybrid model.
Okay, the second step is to change the dashboard. If the board is obsessed with the short-term cost savings gauge, you need to show them the rest of the instrument panel. You have to present them with metrics that measure long-term health, like the dials for psychological health and innovation metrics that you see here. And most importantly, you need to track the turnover rates specifically for your high performers. These are the leading indicators that predict future success far better than last quarter's savings report ever will.
And this all brings us to the final, crucial recommendations. This is not about resisting technology. Far from it. This is about leading through a massive technological shift with wisdom and with foresight. It's about building an organization that is truly ready for whatever comes next.
So here it is, the executive call to action. It starts by balancing priorities, by insisting that long-term organizational health is just as important as short-term efficiency. This requires proactive leadership, where you are actively shaping the AI strategy, not just executing some top-down directive. And that strategy has to be human-centric, focused on augmenting your people, not just replacing them. You do these things, and you will build the ultimate competitive advantage, a truly resilient organization that's ready for anything.
Ultimately, this entire dilemma really just boils down to this one single question. The choices you and your organization make today are going to echo for years to come. The pressure for next quarter's results is, I know, it's immense. But the real test of leadership is whether you're building an organization that can simply survive the next earnings call, or one that is truly built to thrive for the next decade.